Wow. All right. We're recording, I guess. This is gonna be one of those videos you clicked on because maybe you're considering this same decision. And just want to learn, just want to share with you some of the lessons that I've learned. What was one of the hardest decisions of my life at the time, probably one of the biggest decisions to date that I've ever made. So it's been 2 years since I quit college, and what I want to do in this video, if I get this mic right, is share with you some of the lessons that I've learned during the whole process. And so without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, the first lesson that I've learned during this whole process is the fact that you need to embrace fear. Now, a lot of people that watch my content on social media, my channel on YouTube, they ask me, how were you not scared when you made the decision? And the reality is, I was very scared, right? I remember vividly going on the bus that took me to my university, right? It was a 45-minute there and 45-minute back. So I had quite a bit of time to read and think and ponder and reflect on my life's choices. But I would, for I think it went for months, right? I would just sit on this bus and question my choices and kind of beat myself up for not making the decision. But then I would, weigh the pros and cons of the decision. And then I would just, tell myself that it was okay, that I just had to stick through it and get my degree and all this sort of stuff, right? And this went on for months. And I can assure you, one of the feelings that I had was fear of the unknown, fear of this not working out, and fear of failure, right? And so what I would tell you is embrace that emotion, right? One of the things that I look for right now, one of the biggest indicators that I should do something nowadays is asking myself, does this thing make me a little bit scared? Does this thing, incite a bit of fear in me? And if it does, I probably should move in that direction, because I've learned that the best things in life are on the other side of fear. It sounds cliche, but a lot of people don't understand that the one thing that scares you the most is the one thing that's probably gonna grow you the most, because by nature, right, anything that is gonna level us up and anything that's gonna make us grow, it's gonna make us uncomfortable. It's gonna make us scared. Why? Because our predisposition, right, is to pass on our genes and survive, not thrive. And so understand that you need to embrace fear. To understand that fear is absolutely normal. In fact, you should run towards the thing that makes you the most scared. And the other thing to understand on this point is, it is hypocritical of you, right? And it was of me to think that you can achieve in life and get in life things that most people dream of achieving if you're not willing to do what most people are not willing to do, right? So understand that at the end of the day, if you don't overcome that fear, and if you just follow the predetermined path and do what 99% of people do, you're not going to have a 1% life. So that is the first lesson that I learned. Now, the second lesson has to do a bit with the first lesson, and that is discomfort is actually a good thing. Now, fast forward a bit, after a lot of bus rides and a lot of pondering and reflecting, I finally made the decision around 2 years ago to quit college. And now I felt pretty alone, right? I'd started my business during college and had made myself a bit of money, but definitely nowhere near where I wanted to be. And I found myself in my childhood bedroom working on my business pretty much, 12, 14-hour days, right? Now, if you're new to my channel, I run one of the leading e-com agencies in the world, where we help e-com brands scale to 7-8 figures. Now, this is now, but back then I was just starting my e-com agency. And one of the things about an agency is you got to jump on calls with prospects, right? You got to jump on calls with prospects and sell them on your service. And I remember just having an insane number of butterflies in my stomach, just being super nervous, heart beating fast when talking to prospects. And after all this discomfort and stress, one of the things that I learned is that discomfort is really, really good. It's the only way you can actually grow. The only way you can grow is, number one, embracing that fear, but also doing the things that make you uncomfortable. And unfortunately, most people, if you look at their life, they stay in this bubble of comfort. Most people never actually challenge themselves enough to be in a state of discomfort, right? Because it's tough, I'm not gonna lie, because it's not fun at the start. But as soon as you make the connection between when I do things that make me uncomfortable, I actually get better and I level up and I become a better version of myself, it actually gets so freaking fun, right? And that is why nowadays, again, not only do I look for the things that scare me the most, but also the things that make me have a few butterflies in my stomach, right? Also the things that make me a bit nervous, right? Whether it's speaking on stage, which is something that I haven't done, or whether it's starting a podcast, which hopefully I'll be starting soon, or whether it's, talking to bigger clients, right? And talking to massive companies, right? Constantly chasing things that make me uncomfortable is something that I've learned during this whole process. And it all started with finding myself in my childhood bedroom, jumping on calls with prospects and doing what I had to do to grow my business, which was all new to me. So that is the second lesson. The third lesson that I've learned during this 2-year process is do not settle. Now, before quitting, before dropping out of university, I would tell myself certain things that weren't quite true. Now that I look back at it in retrospect, I realized that this is just a byproduct of societal programming and just limiting beliefs in general, right? So I would tell myself things like, it's just 3 years of my life. Maybe I can do it all. Maybe I'm not being tough enough, right? Or I just don't want to piss off my parents, right? And now looking at this mode of thinking, I realize that this is just so incredibly wrong. What you need to understand about college, and look, my point of this video is not to make the decision for you, it's not to push you to drop out of college. That is a very personal decision and you got to make that yourself. Look, for some people, college might be great. If you're looking to be an entrepreneur and if you're looking and you're really set on the entrepreneurial life and building businesses, college is probably not the best route to take, but you can definitely make it after college if you choose to do so. But hey ho, I do know some people that maybe have made it after college. But the main thing that you need to understand is the opportunity cost of college, especially if you're going to be an entrepreneur later down the line, right? If you're really set on the entrepreneurial life, why waste 3 years of your life? And 3 years in the grand scheme of things may not seem like a lot. Society tells us that it's not a lot of time, and look, fair enough, it's not a huge load of time, but I do believe that years in your 20s do have a greater value to them, right? And so 3 years in your 20s is quite a lot of time, especially because in your 20s, you have the most energy you're ever going to have. You're allowed to make mistakes. You have the least responsibilities you're ever going to have. And so this is the best time to try things, to start things, right? To really find yourself. And so 3 years of your life where you're not spending time finding what you truly like, trying new things, and instead you're just locked in a classroom, learning things that you're not passionate about, is definitely a huge opportunity cost. So one of the things that I would tell you is you're capable of so much more, and also to realize what can happen in 3 years or 2 years or even a year when you dedicate yourself and all your energy to one thing only. And so, for example, in these 2 years, I've been able to go from 0 with my agency to 137K per month. I made a whole video on this. We're looking to hit 150K this month. That's a pretty big shift in my life, and not so much because of the money. The money is great. It allows me to take care of myself, my family, my team members, right? And it allows me to build cool shit, which is one of my passions, right? But mainly because I've grown as an individual and I've learned more than I could ever learn in a university course. Hey guys, real quick, interrupting the video to tell you that if you're enjoying the video so far and you haven't hit the like button, it's free. I'd really appreciate it. Helps out with the algorithm, the whole channel. And so if you could do that, that would be amazing. And with that being said, let's get back into the video. The fourth lesson is shutting out the noise. When you finally make the decision to quit college, right? There's going to be a bit of backlash. You're going to face resistance, and you need to learn how to embrace also that resistance coming your way. Most people are not going to agree with that decision, especially because the way society has programmed us is you need a college degree and you need to get a job and all that stuff, right? The traditional path. And so you are going to get resistance, and that is part of the journey. You need to be able to take that resistance. What you need to do is you need to be able to put your head down, shut off the noise, put blinders on, and focus on yourself. Keep your loved ones close, but not too close where you're taking everything that they say as true, right? Because the second thing that I would say is you need to question everything, and you need to be very careful what advice you take in, what input you take in. Do not take advice from people that haven't actually done what you want to do. It's as simple as that, right? The same way that you wouldn't take fitness advice from someone who's not fit themselves, or financial advice from someone who's not very financially free themselves, okay? Make sure that you shut out all the noise and only listen to the people that have done what you want to do. Ideally, get a mentor, follow someone's footsteps. That is by far the fastest way to get to your destination. And pair that by shutting out the noise and shutting out all the input, advice, tips from people that may love you, may be saying things out of love, but just quite frankly don't know what they're talking about because they haven't done it themselves. And the fifth and final lesson is a lot can happen. A lot can happen when you focus on one thing, you decide to get better, you decide to chip away at it every single day, you commit to mastery. And we tend to underestimate what we can do, right? What we can do in a year, in 10 years, right? And that's usually because we are used to the growth curves that we see in our college years or maybe in our school years. And trust me when I say this, those growth curves have nothing to do with the type of growth curve you can see when you focus on one single thing. And the reason why that is because school and college is engineered around making us a well-rounded person, right? And so we get decently good at a bunch of different things, but we don't go deep into any of those things. Thus, we do not master anything. Thus, we cannot become very valuable at one single thing. And look, I think there is value in becoming well-rounded in school, but when it comes to your adult life, what I found is that what you want to do, especially in those initial stages, is get really good at one or two things and become very skilled at a high income job. And these are the traits that I've developed and that I see time and time again in my 10K club members, who are all the people that have gone through my private mentorship and have been able to go from 0 to 10K plus per month in record-breaking time. And so, my friend, those are the 5 main lessons that I've learned since I quit college 2 years ago regarding this decision. Hope you found these valuable. If you did, do not forget to smash the like button for the algorithm. Also, if you haven't subbed to my channel, which is around 50% of you, go ahead and do that and hit the little bell icon if you don't want to miss any of the free in-depth trainings that I've got coming your way. And the final thing is I've got an incredible community full of like-minded people who are looking to scale their agency, level up in life, who share very similar traits to some of the winners. And these are some serious people. And they're all part of my free Facebook mastermind, the Client Closers. You've got a link in the description to apply. If you're a good fit, we'll let you in completely free. So go ahead and apply if you are interested. And with that being said, hope everything's going well in your journey, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.